I'm fine, and you look terrific.
Great. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, so I'm going to start now. Okay,
Good enough.
I'm here, Bob Savar, with Harriet Kalin, who, as most of you probably know, is one of the founders of pickleball in our area in Palm Beach County. And I'm really honored to have you in our January issue of the newsletter. So we've spoken many times over the years. I think we only met once in all these years. But the first question, obviously, is when did you get started playing pickleball and how did you learn about it?
Bottom line is we learned about pickleball in 2012. We actually learned that year at the Villages when we took a 1 month vacation in the Villages and learned how to play extensively up there.
That was, I guess, where pickleball started in Florida, and it's still, I guess you'd call the hotbed of pickleball in Florida, although we're catching up, I think.
Bottom line, pickleball in Florida started years before. I'm not sure exactly when, but here in Palm Beach County, it was when my husband Josh and I brought pickleball back to Delray Beach after our vacation.
So where did you play when you brought pickleball back?
Well, we first started out playing on any kind of tennis court that we could find. In fact, at one of the schools, another couple that we knew that came from Pennsylvania, we got onto the tennis court, and after about 5 minutes, security came and shooed us off, telling us, "You're not allowed to be here." So that's what the gates are up for at all the schools then and even now.
What was the first park it put pickleball in? Do you recall?
I didn't hear you. What
What
was
park was
Oh, the first park? The first park actually was Calusa Park.
okay.
That's when we were working with John Wildner from Parks and Rec for the county and instituted pickleball there. It started out where we were actually between two hockey courts and used the cement pad in between to play. That's the beginnings of pickleball, along with the city of Boca, which we had to prove that we were bringing in lots of Boca residents to teach them how to play pickleball.
What courts were the first ones in Boca?
Good question. Which ones were the first courts?
Well, let me ask you another question. I remember vaguely seeing a TV spot with you, I think, and Josh playing pickleball. Was that at Calusa Park?
That probably was at Calusa Park. Yes, I remember that when NBC did not a promo, but a presentation on Brian Williams, NBC Nightly News. That occurred shortly after we started pickleball here in Palm Beach County.
Right, I remember seeing that. Also, I have a photograph that's going to go that I showed you in the newsletter that was taken in 2013. So how did you hook up with, what is it, USAPA now? They call themselves. How did
Yes.
you hook up with them?
Okay, bottom line there, everything has a bottom line, it seems. We wanted to encourage pickleball here in the county. When we arrived after learning at the Villages, no one played pickleball, let alone no one knew what the word pickleball meant. We actually did a big demonstration, probably 150 plus people at Patch Reef Park 3 months later. And that drew quite a crowd. It's estimated, as I said, about 150 plus people, all curious about pickleball. We had people coming onto the court to hit a couple of balls, and it just took off from there.
Terrific. Did you, I know you played a lot. Did you teach as well? I mean, they didn't have certification back then, I'm sure.
They certainly did not have certification, etc. Yes, I was the one that was teaching as many people as possible, both at Calusa Park and also indoors at Pompey Park here, also in Delray.
Right. So you've kind of seen, I got to ask you this question. Do you still play?
I tell people that Josh and I have graduated from pickleball. And that's a very interesting way to handle it as far as I'm concerned. No, officially, we no longer play. We were smart enough to know when to stop playing before either of us had a difficulty or an accident.
Yeah, I'm 77, and I see people out there playing in the parks who are in their early 80s, and a lot of them still look like they have a lot of juice left. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's I still play some tennis. I was a tennis player. I was a high school tennis coach, and the skills translated very easily for me. I say I was a mediocre tennis player, and I'm a mediocre pickleball player. But the camaraderie, the socialization of the sport, the fact that you could go to any park by yourself and get in games so much different than tennis. It's just a totally different, I can use the word vibe, that pickleball has that a lot of the other sports don't have. In your eyes, where do you see, now that you've seen, they're opening up this place in Fort Lauderdale called the Fort. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am, as well as other places where they do have indoor pickleball.
Right. Well, I know, the Diadem courts.
Yes.
And I think in Palm Beach, they now have indoor courts. I think a place called Replay, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, there are more and more indoor courts. I often wonder about the feasibility of indoor courts in Florida, but obviously I'm not entrepreneurial enough to understand how they make money, but they're going to continue to come, franchises. Is that the way you see it, or do you still think the parks are going to be the focal point of pickleball?
Well, in reality, I would assume that it's the parks, the public parks, even private communities that people will continue to play in. Membership at some of the indoor facilities is higher than what people would like to pay. But if it amounts to pay to play
right
for it, there's only so many courts available outdoors, and more and more people are playing. I want to comment also that you said you didn't do much with tennis. You described yourself as mediocre. Well, I don't look at things like that. Hey, you love the game of tennis. You loved the game of tennis, and you certainly love the sport of pickleball. And now that you're a certified teacher and have been teaching for a number of years, you're doing well, and I admire you for that. So that's a big plus, Bob.
I thank you. I know you've always been supportive
Yes.
of my efforts, and that has not gone unnoticed. I appreciate it. It's funny though, I've written quite a few books, talk about mediocrity, we'll leave that aside. But I wrote a book on the blue zone effects of pickleball.
Yes.
The blue zones are where people live longer lives, and
Yes.
how pickleball is a kind of emblematic of the attributes that these people have. But I just read another book. It's just a little ebook on how to start, how to become a teacher, pickleball teacher, as a side hustle. Because so many people ask, how did you build up your business? I have a pretty good business teaching
Yeah.
pickleball. I don't think of it as a business, but it is, and the money comes in handy, of course. But you see so many more teachers coming. Do you think we're going to get oversaturated with teachers?
I don't know. I think all of us think we're experts after
Right.
playing for a while. I don't know that how many. I don't know how many people will actually go the route of being certified and maintaining that level of pickleball. You mentioned something, by the way, about indoor courts, and the bottom line is it's a business. When you consider that so many big sports people and other entrepreneurs have really invested in pickleball by becoming owners of leagues, and there are various leagues around at this point. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching it on TV, obviously. It's
Yes.
it's interesting. I often think, the average person that I play with, my age bracket, let's say 3.5 to 4.0,
Yes.
these people are not interested in pro pickleball. They don't know the names of the players. They don't watch it on television. You know, well, I think you still live in a 55 and older community like I do. All of these developments have pickleball courts and instructors, and we kind of live in a bubble. Although maybe we started at the park or whatever, the people coming into pickleball now, I think in our developments are starting in our development. So they started back home, whatever, but it's a nice secure bubble and there are a lot of people to play with.
Yes.
Do you, I want to kind of wrap this up. I appreciate you taking the time. I don't want to be remiss about the newsletter. How many years were you running your newsletter?
Oh, the e-blast, or what I recently called it was the e-pickleball blast. How many, since 2012, and even prior to that, I was writing a note, an email to many of the people in our community, and just to introduce them to the concept of pickleball. So it continues to grow, particularly now what I see is many of the condos along the ocean are putting in a pickleball court or two pickleball courts simply to call it another amenity.
Yeah, I've taught in some of those communities in Palm Beach along the ocean, and most of them have like two tennis courts.
Yes.
Okay, maybe a cluster of two buildings or three buildings, and they're converting one of those courts into 2 to 4 pickleball courts. Yeah, I mean, you can't build a community in Palm Beach County without having pickleball courts. Have you been to, which is the community that has the indoor courts, the set?
Is that Valencia Sound or Valencia Grande? I'm not sure.
Grand, Valencia Grand.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so they have, I don't know how many courts, and they made the indoor courts kind of asphalt. not like playing on a gym floor.
Right.
Friends of mine who played there say it's really amazing. Yeah. So,
Well, Bob, I really appreciate that you thought enough to contact me to just talk about pickleball in general. And I look forward to getting your continued newsletters for sure. Thanks a lot from my end. I appreciate it.
thank you. I'll say hello to Josh. I see him.
Hey, to Josh, the other guy. Okay.
Hi there.
Hi, Josh. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah, we were just ending the interview, but I'm glad you popped in now that you're back from your last activity, which was not pickleball. Okay?
Okay. Well, it's nice to see you, Josh.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks very much, Harriet.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of the day. And I'll get
Thank
back to you to show you this, okay?
Yeah, good enough. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye.